Welcome to Student Connections, where students connect with their community.
Hello, and welcome to Student Connections, a show that connects our students with their community. My name is Mickey Brast, and today we will discover what is going on in Marysville. First, Jim Sturridge had the opportunity to talk with Mr. Coates and Mr. Messing about the Knights of Columbus activities.
Hello and welcome to Student Connections on M6, your hometown station. We're here with two representatives of the Marysville Knights of Columbus. Thanks for coming in. Could you tell us?
Thank you for the invitation.
Oh, anytime. Now, could you tell us, who are the Knights of Columbus? You know, when were they established? That sort of thing?
Sure. The Knights of Columbus are a Catholic charitable service organization started back in 1882 by Michael J. McGivney, a parish priest. He started the Knights because the Catholics were under semi-persecution back there in the 1800s, and when a lot of the providers would pass, the widows would be benefits of the parish priest. He would take care of them, give them money for basic needs, and that's basically the foundation of the Knights, and it grew from there.
How would one join? Like, do you have to be a parish priest, or can you just have no affiliation with any church?
The Knights only ask that you be a Catholic gentleman in good standing, be a practicing churchgoer, and a family man. Raise your family. You don't have to have a family, but that's basically the foundation.
Are there any major benefits that come out of being the Knights of Columbus? Like maybe.
Well, we are a life insurance company first. That was the purpose of our being created, was to provide for the widows and the orphans left behind by the death of a breadwinner. The life insurance is what we do, and that would be a benefit. You have to be a member to hold a life insurance policy.
As a life insurance company first, you guys said, how does it extend out to the community? Because I see community events all the time where the Knights of Columbus are always sponsoring it.
So we do sponsor a lot of local events. Boysville, Blue Water Pregnancy Center are the one that's gotten our attention lately because they just started up here in Port Huron area. But we help out here. The senior night, we contribute to that too. Our Tootsie Roll drivers are a good fundraiser. We give money to charities from that.
Your hall that we see just down the street here, can somebody rent it out, and where is it located exactly for people watching at home?
It is available for weddings or any type of party or gathering. A lot of fundraisers are held there. It's down on Range Road and Ravenswood on the corner. It's only been there for a few years, but growing. There's a hefty mortgage on it, but we are paying that off. Again, one of our founding principles is charity. So a lot of not only fundraising with weddings and parties, but we raise money there to donate to the community as well.
In your hall, is there any kind of seniority structure with the Knights of Columbus, or is it just you're a member and they elect a leader?
Good question.
Yeah, we have officers, rotating officers. Some can be an officer for many years. The hierarchy, we rotate every 2 years pretty regularly. It brings in new blood and new perspective, things like that.
Are the ranks just moved on a cycle, or is it some sort of election process?
It's an election process. The members vote.
And you can either nominate yourself or somebody that you know, and again, you can decline a nomination, but we try to get as many people active in the organization as possible. We currently have over 165 members. However, when you, just like any organization, when you go to a meeting, maybe a third or a quarter of the members join the meeting, and then you've got your active people and you select your officers from there, the ones who are going to really have the time and motivation to get involved.
With that, how much money do you guys raise? Because with the 165 people, one would think you have a wide net to go just to draw from.
Well, whatever we raise, we give back to the community after we pay our bills. It's, I'm not going to talk about our budget or anything like that, come on. But no, we're just a modest organization. 165, that's not that many. When you think the American Legion probably has over 600.
Mm-hmm. We currently just worked on our budget, and let's just say it's well over 100,000. So just to give you a ballpark on where we're at, and that's a local organization. The Knights, just to go back a step, the Knights is a worldwide organization made up of various councils. In the United States, our headquarters is in New Haven, Connecticut. Mm-hmm. That's called our Supreme Council. We also have councils in every state that drives the state. And we have local organizations like Marysville, St. Clair, Marine City, Algonac, Port Sanilac. I mean, it's all over. Just hundreds of organizations that have the same drive and the same support.
The reason we asked is because we're wondering about the scholarships you guys offer.
That's a very good question, and I can see why you're asking.
That's coming up, isn't it?
It is.
April we have.
Right. We're trying to organize that right now, but we offer actually. One of the missing elements of this conversation so far has been our support, which is our auxiliary. A lot of the wives and friends of the Knights are in the auxiliary, and they support us with various activities in the hall and outside the hall. They raise their own money. So when we offer scholarships, we offer 2 scholarships to Marysville High School, one for a boy, one for a girl. And right behind that, after we go through the necessary steps for the scholarship, which is well documented in the office, the auxiliary comes right behind and they offer a 3rd and 4th scholarship. So there are really 4 scholarships to the Knights. And as you would probably guess, if your parent was a member of the Knights and you're a Catholic and you are a churchgoer, that's really the heart of the application. However, it's not really necessary. We've had other winners that have none of that. They have single parents. They don't attend church, but they've got good scholastics and everything else. So it's really on a point system. So that is coming up, and as a matter of fact, the deadline is April 15th to get your application in for this year.
With that, along with other major events, are there any events you'd like to tell us about that are upcoming and important on the calendar?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, the 28th, we're having a spaghetti dinner at the hall. One of our members has been down sick, and we're having a spaghetti dinner fundraiser up at the hall the 28th, and hope to raise some money for that. That's a good cause. He needs the money. He hasn't been able to work, and things like that we do.
Mounting medical bills.
Yes.
Probably our best known fundraiser is really in the fall, and that's our Tootsie Roll Drive, that are known as the Mentally Impaired Drive. And the monies collected from that drive go to the mentally impaired for such projects as the Special Olympics and other, there's a Boy Scout troop that's 100% mentally impaired members, goes to that, and there's several other organizations in the area that supports.
Marysville Little League, we just sent them a check.
I understand you have an auxiliary. Could you take us through what the auxiliary is?
Well, the auxiliary, as I mentioned, is a support group for the Knights, made up of the wives and friends, female friends of the Knights, without whom we probably would have very difficult times operating our council, because they support us through fundraising, they support us through foods, keeping the hall up, which is a lot of work. One of the main functions that they have is the craft show, and they hold that twice a year. The next craft show just coming up, as a matter of fact, on March 23rd, and they'll offer such things as baked goods and items for sale that were handcrafted. It's very popular every year, but that's one of the main fundraisers, and that is really one of the bases for the scholarships that they offer as well. So that's very keen of interest.
Where is this craft show?
The craft show is held, again, twice a year, right over at our hall on the corner of Range and Ravenswood.
Well, thank you very much for coming in. It seems like a worthwhile organization for everyone to take a look at. And we will be right back after this.
The Knights of Columbus sure have a lot going on, and so does the Marysville Recreation Department. Jim also had the chance to talk to Mrs. Ann Eisen about this year's programs.
Hello, welcome to Student Connections on M6, your hometown station. I'm here with Mrs. Eisen of the Marysville Rec Department. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Now, could you tell us, what are the new Rec Department programs that you have available?
Currently we're offering some are geared towards more the middle school age group. We have what's called a middle school mania once a month on Friday nights. The kids come over to the community center and we play lots of games of dodgeball. We have a bunch of Nerf guns. We play capture the flag with Nerf guns. We have a DJ in there playing music. And then we also purchased some ping pong tables this year. And we have tournaments in the other rooms. So that's been the biggest hit over the winter for that age group. We also are bringing back our Friday Frenzies. We're also doing similar things with elementary school kids once a month on Friday nights. But we gear it more to group games and stuff to get the kids running around, exercising, and just coming in and having fun with our staff. Those are our biggest new events so far this winter. We've also have our swim lessons that we introduced this year. Normally that's a summer only program, but with our staff and being able to work with the schools, we've been great to offer swim lessons during the winter too.
So is the Marysville Rec Department getting more cooperation from the Marysville High School to use the pool for swim lessons?
Oh yeah, we have a great partnership. This partnership's went on for many, many years. We're very fortunate with our city and the school district here in Marysville to be able to work together to use each other's facilities, for our programs. We get to use the high school gyms, middle school gyms, elementary school gyms for programs. Same with the pool, and in turn, they use our park for cross-country meets. We golf course for the golf team. So it's just been a great partnership, and I don't think without each other, each of us would be able to offer the programs we do for the students in the community.
Speaking of which, are there any openings in jobs for, particular students in Marysville?
Yes, I mean, it gets harder each year because we have so many great kids that come back, so that makes us kind of limited on how many we hire each year. But we're looking forward to this summer, starting April 8th through the 19th. Anybody interested in working for the Recreation Department this summer, come in, pick up an application from our clerks department, fill it out, get it back. And then, those summer kids are the ones that usually work throughout the year for us, but we have the one season a year that we hire kids.
Are there any particular students that you find who like volunteering more than having a full-time job with the rec department?
Yeah, we've just started actually what we call as a teen volunteer program a couple summers ago. They're for kids who aren't quite old enough to be hired in to work for the recreation department, but they're kind of getting to that older age where they don't really want to be, in the program as much anymore. So this gives them a great chance to give back. They get great experience. We bring them in, we treat them just like an employee by interviewing them, have them fill out a job application, and then they get a schedule and they work side by side with our older staff, our teenagers and college kids. So they're kind of getting a great partnership, learning and mentoring, from the older kids, as also giving back to the younger kids, doing their favorite sports, teaching these elementary kids and younger how to play these sports. So our teen volunteer program normally gets about 25 kids a year and has really taken off, and these kids are a lifesaver. They do a really great job for our kids, for our programs.
Also give them early opportunities, job applications, and the whole process.
Yes, they do. It's a great experience all the way around for everybody.
Now, I've been hearing about this Marysville concert series you guys are introducing. Could you tell me about that?
This year we got a sponsor. Intertape Palomar is going to take over the sponsorship of that program. On Wednesday nights down at the park, we have concerts every Wednesday from 7 p.m. to about 9 p.m. depending. Some bands have a great time with the crowd. It can be 9:30, 10 o'clock before we get them out of there. Other bands, normally the set's about a 2-hour set. It's free to anybody to come down. A lot of people come down, have a picnic before, and it's just a great time. We offer many different kinds of music, a lot of country, a lot of oldies, and just a great variety. It's a good family show. If the weather's right, it's a good time down in Marysville City Park during the summer.
Are there any major bands you can tell us about, or is that supposed to be announced later?
We have some bands coming up. We're still finalizing the schedule, but we'll bring back, some of the local bands, from around, like the Voodoo Doctors. They've been playing for us for years. They're going to be kicking off the series this year on June 12th. So that's just a great time for everyone to come down and kick off the concerts. And then, every year we try to go different bands every summer. We have some that we bring back that played a few summers ago. But we just kind of, get a feel for out there and, what's popular, and that's who we bring in.
What other programs are you guys offering this summer?
We got a couple new programs we're going to be offering. One is a Lego program towards the end of the summer. It's going to be geared for, we have one for elementary school and then one for middle school. It's called Junior Engineering. That's probably one of the newest programs we're excited about this summer. That's going to be a week-long camp right at the community center. The kids are going to come in, they're going to learn different things using Legos, and then they also get a take-home project. They call it, at the end of the week for these kids to go home and kind of show their parents what they've learned all week. Another new program we're kind of partnering with St. Clair and Port Huron Recreation to offer is going to be a circus program. So anyone kind of interested in the different types of things they do in the circus, we're going to be bringing that in this summer. We're still actually working out the details if it's going to be at the beginning of the summer or at the end of the summer for the kids. But that'll be similar, a week-long camp, and the kids are going to be right there learning the different things that they do in the circus.
So it'll be for anyone who always said they wanted to run away to the circus?
Yes, exactly. It'll be a great opportunity for them to give it a try.
Is there a specific way that you can sign up for any of these activities, even though some of them aren't finalized?
Yes, we usually by mid-May we have the recreation brochure for the summer available online, and then we mail it to all the city residents. And then we have a registration date, usually that first week in June. We do registration right at the community center. We had a great volunteer from the community that set us up with our actual registration program, and he brings in laptops and works side by side with us doing that. Matt Tovez is just a great sponsor to kind of come in and volunteered his time from the beginning to sit there and make sure everything goes, and it's really sped up our registration process. So now we can do it all in one night, so parents, aren't sitting there for 3-4 hours trying to get their kids registered for different programs.
And you said the deadline of this was in June?
Yep, in June. We haven't finalized the date because we kind of work with his schedule just because he's such a main behind-the-scenes guy with making sure all the computers are running right. But that'll also be announced in the summer recreation brochure and on our website.
Thank you very much for coming.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
It was a pleasure. We'll be right back after this.
I can't wait to get involved with the rec department when school gets out. Speaking of summer, Rachel Warren introduces us to Mr. Joe Pavlov to talk about this year's Volleygrass competition.
Hello and welcome to Student Connections on M6, your hometown station. I'm Rachel Warren, and I'm here today with Mr. Joe Pavlov to talk with us about a very popular event here in Marysville, the Volleygrass Festival. So, what is the Volleygrass Festival, Mr. Pavlov?
Well, Rachel, Volleygrass is a family fun volleyball festival in the summertime that kind of takes over the whole community. It's been going on for 22 years now, and it's very popular. We seem to have a lot of people in this community who love to play volleyball, and they'll do it in 80 and 90 degree heat in the summertime.
Marysville does love their volleyball, even in high school.
Yes, they do, and it's really spread out as far as attracting people from other communities, other parts of the state, and we even attract some people from other states that come here. So it's expanded at that point, and now we have extracurricular activity organizations that are involved with us, and they help generate some of the income also. And
how did the Volleygrass Festival get started?
Actually, Dave and Jeannie Thomas were the originators in 1992, and they were involved with the Sports Boosters at that time, and they were looking for a way to raise some money, and so they decided to have a volleyball tournament on grass. It was originally held at the stadium at the high school, and from those humble beginnings, probably about 65 teams, I think they had back then, and it was maybe a one-day event, and we've expanded to a 3-day event. And now we also have many, many more players and spectators.
And how many do you think usually come now?
Well, on a given year, we have about 245 or 250 teams.
Wow.
And we think there's somewhere between 1,300 and 1,400 athletes that take part. It's really kind of hard to pin that number down because some of the ones that play in the co-ed division, which is Friday evening, also sign up to play Saturday and Sunday also. So we don't know whether to count them twice or not. So there's a lot of people that come.
And how many people usually volunteer to help?
Now that's a tough number too, because we have many student organizations that help with the parking and help with the cleanup and the concessions and the ball shagging and stuff like that. I would say from start to finish we have about 200 to 220 people that volunteer. And I'm going to put in a plug because we need volunteers this year. Some of our people that have been with us for years and years, like original people, aren't going to be coming back again this year. And it's tough to replace those people.
Yeah.
A lot of us are getting older now, and we need some new blood coming in.
Replacements.
Yes.
New recruits. And besides the players and the volunteers, how many people usually attend to watch?
That is a tough number to come up with also. We used to be able to get a better handle on that when we met over at the stadium because they had to come in through a gate. But now that we're at the Marysville Park, they can come from all different directions at us. And we never really get an accurate count. We've just always kind of had a rule of thumb that we usually have as many spectators as we do players. So we figure 1,300 to 1,400 spectators.
And how many sponsors contribute to the festival?
That varies every year, and with us for a long time. Marysville Tire, which is Marysville Goodyear, and O'Connor Realty, and Myers has been with us for years, and Mercy Hospital. And then those are our major sponsors. And then we have some smaller sponsors that give anywhere from $25 to $100. And I would say probably on a given year we have 12 to 15 sponsors total.
And are they on the local level, or are they from all over the county?
Most of them are local. We do have one state organization called ITC, which is the transmission lines, you know, the ones that you see going over the park there. They decided to sponsor us, and they're one of our major sponsors, been a very good sponsor for years now with us.
And what is the relationship like between the city and Valleygrass?
We basically use their facility. We pay for the custodial fees that are required there, but they allow us to use the park, and the park has been a very welcome addition for us. It allows us to have just enough room to keep the tournament small so that it doesn't grow, so that we can't control it. And the beautiful thing about the park is the shade, because it gets very hot on July 26, 27, 28 usually. And people need a place for some respite from the heat, and they can go in between games and get in the shade, and they can bring a picnic lunch, and they can sit there with their families, and it just makes for a very wonderful, like we said, family fun festival.
And then the trees and the pavilions help a lot.
The pavilions, and there's also a water park over there.
Yeah.
And we've had people go over to the water park and just to cool off after they've been playing in the tremendous heat. And believe it or not, some people actually go over and drop in the water and cool off in the river. I mean,
in the river, yeah. Since it is a charity event, where does the money go to?
The money actually goes to the organizations that help. For instance, if the cheerleaders were there and they were helping with the parking organization, or if the band is there with cleanup and setup, we kind of calculate the number of workers that they have, how important the job is, and then we have a formula for giving that money to that organization. For instance, we want to keep everybody very well hydrated, and so we have these jugs of ice water all over the place, and one organization, the volleyball team, is responsible for keeping those jugs filled all the time, Friday night, all day Saturday, and all day Sunday. And then based on that and the number of workers that they have, they will earn some of the profits that we have.
That's very nice. And before we have to go, is there anything else you'd like to tell us about the Valleygrass Festival?
Just that it's a real staple in the community and brings a lot of people together. It's a real strong homecoming. A lot of the people who can't get home for the football homecoming come home in the summertime from college, and they'll bring college roommates with them, and they'll have a team, and they'll practice, and we fill up the campgrounds in the area, and we fill up most of the hotel rooms and motel rooms, and it's just a wonderful gathering of community people in the summertime.
It sounds like a lot of fun. I think I'm going to have to come this year.
You will love it.
I will. Thank you very much, Mr. Pavel.
Thank you for having me, Rachel.
We'll be right back on M6, your hometown station. I'm Rachel Warren.
Good luck to all participants of this year's Valleygrass this summer. Now let's see what's going on at the Marysville Fire Department. Caitlin Herring meets with the firefighter, Matt Reeves, to get more information.
Welcome to Student Connections on M6, your hometown station. I'm Caitlin Herring, here with Matt Reeves, a representative of the Marysville Fire Department. Thanks for coming in.
You're welcome.
All right. So our first question, what made you decide to become a firefighter?
I actually kind of fell into it. I just graduated high school. I was at SC4 in the nursing program. I started doing the firefighting classes just to eat up some time, actually. Found out I really enjoyed the fire and the EMS much more than the nursing, and so that's kind of the path that I chose.
Do you enjoy the work that you do?
I absolutely love it. It's a very rewarding job, very tough at times, but it's definitely fun, and the guys I work with make it really enjoyable.
What's the favorite part of your job?
I enjoy being out with people, not being stuck in one building all day, and being out in the community and helping out with the community. A lot of times we run into people, it might be the worst day of their life.
Yeah.
And it's nice to be able to be there and help them through that.
On average, how many emergencies do you respond to in an average week?
We do around 1,500 incidents a year. This last year was our highest on record. Not all of those are emergencies, but I would guess anywhere between 20 to 30 emergency runs during the week.
Cool. What do firefighters typically get dispatched for?
In Marysville, we do our own EMS service too. That's pretty rare anymore for a fire department to provide their own ambulance service. About 75% of the calls we do is probably medical related or EMS related. The rest are car accidents, fires, hazardous materials, things like that.
What does an average day usually consist of at the fire station?
Well, Monday through Friday we have a list of chores just like everyone else might at home. We have daily duties that need to be done, things to be cleaned, trucks to be checked. We have to make sure all our equipment's in top shape and ready to go at any time. After we get that done in our chore list, basically, most of us in this department have kind of separate jobs there too, which deal with the fire department. Public education throughout the schools, CPR classes, tracking hazardous materials throughout the multiple companies that we have in Marysville. So even if we don't run emergencies, we have lots of jobs that we need to get done. It basically makes it a normal 9 to 5 business day, even when we're not running calls.
All right, cool. Did the temporary merger with Port Huron's department affect the Marysville department very much?
It did. The merger didn't happen as it was originally planned, and that's why it kind of failed. It was a good idea, but it was two very different departments to try and put together. It affected us because as we were sharing a chief, he wasn't in Marysville, all of his time like he used to be. And unlike a lot of departments, our chief is still very active. He'll do calls in the ambulance. He'll put on his gear and air pack and go into a fire, and that's not very common. And so when he was in Port Huron quite a bit, we lost a guy. We had to run a little bit short sometimes.
Do you have any words of caution or advice for our viewers as we continue to progress through the rest of the winter?
We still have some cold days ahead. Make sure their furnace is working, in good condition. Obviously be careful with candles, cooking, and fireplaces, things like that. A lot of times it's just paying a little extra attention to those things that are around your house that could be dangerous.
Do you have any advice for anybody that might be snow shoveling or anything?
Snow shoveling is a lot more strenuous than people realize. If you have a heart condition or if you feel fatigued or dizzy or anything like that, definitely time to take a rest and stop and just don't overdo it. A lot of people ignore the symptoms of a heart attack or stroke until it's too late.
Yeah. Do you have any stories you would like to share?
I would just want to encourage our citizens and anybody that has any dealings with Marysville to get to know the department a little bit better. We offer a ton of services through the department in addition to the emergency calls that we do. And we're always open for tours and ride-alongs and things like that if people are interested. We're here for our citizens and we want them to know that.
Cool. Yeah, I'll check into that. That sounds pretty awesome. All right. I hear that the fire department is offering some CPR classes and like first aid and stuff. Is it too late to sign up for that?
It's never too late. We offer CPR, AED, and first aid training through the department. We normally do one class a month. 1 month will be a morning class. The next month will be a night class, so we can make sure that everyone has an opportunity to do that. All they need to do is call to the fire department, and we'll get their name on a list, and whatever they need, we'll try and take care of.
How much do the classes cost, like on average?
The classes are $5 for Marysville residents and $10 for non-residents. And compared to some other places they can get classes, it's a pretty huge savings, but we don't want people to pay extra. Their tax dollars pay for us to be here, and we don't feel that they should pay any more than that.
Yeah. Is there anything else you would like to tell us about yourself or your job or anything?
We love being here. Our department is, like I said before, we're here for the citizens, and we enjoy and generally care about our citizens. They're our bosses. That's who we work for. And we advise them to call us whenever they need anything that we can help out with, because ultimately that's what we're here for.
Thank you for coming in today.
You're welcome.
All right. This has been Student Connections on M6, your hometown station, and we will be right back with more after this.
The fire department is definitely making an impact on our community. I hope you enjoyed meeting our guests today. I know I did. Thanks for joining us on Student Connections. I'm Mickey Brass for M6, your hometown station.